So in this video, let us learn how to fetch records from database tables and how to insert records into the database tables using JDBC and using Java programming. Okay, now first we need to understanding about the JDBC object model. The step one, so now I would like to write JDBC object model. If you understood about the object model, so easily we can able to start writing the program to fetch records from the database tables, or you can insert records into the database table. Any DDL and DML operations we can able to perform by using JDBC. Okay, the first step one, object model. Step one, first we need to create connection class reference variable. That is step one. Step two, by using a class for name, you need to load the Oracle driver. So class dot for name. So class is an inbuilt class. So for name is a static method. So it takes Oracle dot JDBC dot driver dot Oracle driver. Actually, it is a class for name. It comes under the reflection concept. In the reflection, so how we can able to execute the methods which are available. Methods means static block which is available in the corresponding class. Okay. Next one called step 3. In step 3, we will allocate memory to memory for connection reference variable by using driver manager dot get connection. So driver manager is a class. Get connection is a static method. It accepts a connection string. In our case, connection string is JDBC colon Oracle colon thin colon @localhost colon port number 1521 colon exe. Exe is the database for the express edition, and we need to provide the username and we need to provide the password. Yes, you need to provide these many three parameters in order to create the connection. So that it always returns driver manager.get connection always returns a connection object. So once after getting the connection object, step 4. So we need to create a statement now. So there are two interfaces available, statement and prepared statement. First, we need to disable statement. By using connection object, we can execute a method called create statement. It always returns an statement object. Statement stmt is equal to. Here statement is an interface. Statement is an interface. So now the next step we need to define the query. String SQL is equal to or string query. Query is equal to, you can write any query. Select star from EMP or department, any tables, you can just use it. Okay, any complex query also you can write. You can join multiple tables or group by or set operations, union all, any query, subquery, any query also you can able to write here. The corresponding query result it is going to fetch from the database table. So once after writing the query by using statement dot execute query method, we need to supply the query as a parameter. So as soon as if we can execute the query, it always returns a result set object. Result set RS object. Result set RS. So by using this next step, step 7, by using result set object rs.next. So how this particular method will work? If it found, if records are available, if records are available, it provides true, otherwise it provides false. So once after the fall, okay, we can able to come out from the loop. So we can use while loop to fetch the record from the database, to read the database. So as soon as if it reaches the as soon as if it is read all the record from the database table, so obviously it provides false, then condition is not satisfied, it will come out from the loop. So this is our complete JDBC object model. The first one called which one? Connection. So we need to provide the connection reference variable. So afterwards we can load Oracle driver by using class ret for name. Now by using driver manager.get connection, we need to provide the three parameters: connection string, username and password. It always returns a connection object. By using connection object, we should create a statement. It returns statement object. Actually statement is an interface. So next one called which one? We need to define the query. It can be simple or complex query, anything. So or it can be DDL or DML statement, any statement. So this base the query we need to pass as a parameter to execute query method. The execute query method we can access based on the statement object. This statement dot execute query, it always returns a result set object. By using result set object, we can access a method called next. How the next works? If records are available, it provides true value. Otherwise, it provides false. So now we can write a program and we can able to perform the JDBC operation now. So for that purpose, we need to follow the same object model. For that purpose, first we need to launch our IntelliJ IDE and we'll create a project and we'll add the dependency. We'll follow the steps step by step. IntelliJ. We can open the IntelliJ IDE. So we'll create a new project. Go to File, New Project. We will create a Maven project. Select the Maven archetype. Here I would like to select database automation. We can provide any name. I just provided a database automation and project name is the database automation. Location, any workspace you can able to provide. Currently it was displaying on particular workspace. If you would like to change the new workspace, yes, you can click on browse and you can change it. Otherwise you can use the same workspace. And JDK 17 it is pointing and catalog is internal and archetype. So we should write Maven hyphen archetype hyphen quick start. So we should select Maven hyphen archetype hyphen quick start. The version should be 1.4 and just we need to make sure about advanced settings. Group id is com.sg testing and our project name and artifact id both are same. So version it is 1.0 snapshot. Now we can click on create button to create a project. Now we are creating the Maven project only. Just click on create button to create the Maven project. And in this window the project is populating. So it takes some time to resolve the Maven dependencies and as well as it will be loading the complete Maven project. It takes some time. So once after loading the complete Maven project, so we'll wait. Yes, it has loaded completely. Once after loading the project, first in the pom.xml file, there is a section called properties. In the properties section plus, first we need to change compiler source and target version. So it should be 1.8. 1.8. Yes, save this particular changes. Once after saving this particular changes, our main goal is we need to fetch record from the database table or we can do insert or any detailed DML operations we need to do. We require an appropriate the dependency is required. How we can able to get the dependency? Yes, we can go with any browser. So in our case, we'll open the Edge browser. Okay, go for MEN repository or repository.com. This is the official website. Just navigate to this particular official website and search for OJDBC. The dependency name is OJDBC. So it was populating n number of dependencies. Which one you need to find out? So we can scroll down So this is the one. Okay, Oracle JDBC driver compatible with JDK 8 and JDK 11. Yes, we'll try to select this particular JDBC, OJDBC, and currently we need to download the which one, the appropriate version, and we need to cross check it should be latest and it has a more usages. So better we can take this one, 23.8.0.25.04. Yes, click on this one. Okay, now we can copy this complete, because since we are using a Maven project, so in the Maven by default it is opened a Maven only. So now we can copy this particular dependency and we can paste under a dependency section. Yes, we can paste under the dependency section. Yes, it is showing the Maven repository official website, the path. Anyway, it is acceptable only. Now we can click on save, and if it is good practice, you can click on download and download source and documentation. You can do. Okay, afterwards you can refresh or reload. Okay, now click on Maven. Yes, we have added the JDBC, the dependency into our project. Once after adding JDBC dependency into our project, so now expand the SRC. So minimize this console. Okay, now expand the test. So either you can, there are two navigation, main and test. You can write the program at main or test. Usually the developer, they can write the program at main section, main navigation. The testers means they will do the unit testing in test section. So since we are discussing about JDBC for our testing team purpose, that's the reason I'm using test navigation. Yes, the package is available com.sg testing. So I would like to create a new package called DBR database. I just created a package name called database. Within the database, first we need to create a source file. The source file, read record from database table. So this is the, and using statement. Actually, there are two interfaces available. You can use statement or prepared statement. I am using statement first at beginning. Afterwards, I would like to write one more program called prepared statement. So first we'll finish with the statement. Now we can able to write a program now method. So private static void read records. So every method should contain try catch block. So we need e.print stack trace is fine. And we should write a finally block. Finally is an optional block. Irrespective of exception arised or not, this block will execute. So in order to disconnect the database, yes, we should require a finally block. Because once after establishing the connection, we have to close the connection at last. So that's the purpose we need to use finally block. So by referring this particular object model, we'll start writing our step-by-step program. First step one is which one? Connection con. Yes, we can write it connection. So java.sql connection con is equal to null. The reference variable by default contains null value. We can import, that is from which one? Java.sql. So it is a good practice. We have to close this reference variable. We can do cleanup immediately. Yes. So once after defining the step one, the next step means we need to load this Oracle driver path by using class.forName. Yes, we should use class.forName right in oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver. So once after providing the step 2, the step 3, we need to use driver manager.get connection. So yes, we can use this particular line. Step 3, driver manager.get connection. Get connection is a static method. it accepts three parameters: URL means connection string and username and password. The connection string is JDBC colon Oracle colon thin colon @localhost colon 1521. That is the port number of Oracle. That is the standard port number of Oracle, and X is the database. Now we need to provide the username is system and password is tiger. We need to provide username password, and this get connection static method, it returns connection object. So it returns connection object. Yes, now we can press enter. Now once after creating the connection object, the next statement is by using connection object we should access a method called create statement. So meanwhile we can able to write the statement system.out.println the database connection has successfully. So we can run the query and we can check now whether the database connection has established successfully or not. The database, yes, we can check now. Just right click and run this particular query program. So if we can get this particular output, it indicates yes, the database connection is established successfully. Okay, now we should execute the next statement. Next step. What is the next statement? By using connection object, we can access a method called create statement. Okay, connection dot create statement. The create statement method always returns a statement object. Statement is an interface. Statement stmt is equal to. So now we can able to import the statement. Again, statement also from which one? Java.sql. So once after creating the statement object, what is the next step? We need to establish the query. Okay, we need to create the query. It can be simple or complex. So string query is equal to, in our case we can select star from DPT. Okay, we can open the our DB ever, so we can execute the query now. We can execute the query. Yes, it is providing the records. Just we are using which one? Select star from DEPT. If this query is not working, we'll update it, we'll change it. Okay, currently it is having only 3 records. Now by using statement object, we can execute the query. We can execute the query. Execute query. It returns a result set. So by using execute query, you need to pass query as a parameter. Okay, this execute query method returns result set object. Result set object, that rs. So now we need to import the result set now. Yes, it is already imported properly. Again go here. Yes, result set is imported from java.sql. Now we can write the while statement. While rs.next, if records are available, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. So now we can start reading the record from the table now. So this space, if you can write the space or you can omit the space, it doesn't matter. Okay, so now we can try to read the records from the table. How we can able to read the records means by using rs.getString. There is a method called getString. We need to specify the column name or column index, column label. So we can provide the column label. In our case, the column label will go to the database. We'll see now column name is department number, D name and LOC. The same column department number, and we'll try to store it in a string. Department number is, we can able to store that particular one, and rs dot get string you can provide a d name. So you can store it in a one variable string dpt name, and one more rs dot get string. We need to provide the column label. The column label will provide loc, and it returns location, a string value. I just for the string variable I given the name called location. So once we are storing the value, so better we can able to print the value now s out. Either you can use println statement or you can use printf. Printf for formatting the output. Percentage minus 12s, comma, department number. Similar way, we need to provide dname. We can store into the variable department name and location. Yes, we need to provide. Once after providing, we need to apply the println statement. Either you can use println or printf. You need to provide the new line character. We need to provide. Okay, I'm just using println statement. Okay, because after typing on complete record, it has to be okay. Go for new line. So now I would like to run this particular example. Yes, we'll see this particular data now. It was fetching the records appropriately. So we can compare with our database. We'll go here. See the first 10, 20, 30, 40 accounting, research, sales and operation. So we'll see now accounting, research, sales, operation, New York, Dallas, Chicago, Boston. Yes, it was fetching the records from the database properly. But something is missing. Which is missing means if you can go for a table, and again if we can run, so there are some columns, department number, d name, location, but here the columns are not available. See, the columns are comes under metadata. Metadata is nothing but data of the data is called as a metadata. So in JDBC we can able to fetch the column name also. How we can able to fetch the column name? By using result set object. By using result set object we can access a method called get metadata. Get metadata. It returns result set metadata. See, I am accessing a method called get metadata. It returns result set metadata. Result set metadata. That is also we need to import from java.sql. So just rs data is equal to. So once you can get the result set metadata object, by using result set metadata object rs, we can fetch one by one column name. So get column name. So get column name. See, column name. Yes, we need to provide the index. The column, okay, integer value, index value we need to provide. So column name always starts with 1, 2, 3 in this way. Get column name of 1. So you can just provide. It always return string call 1 is equal to. Similar way, we need to, because there are 3 columns are available, we will try to read one by one column name, column 2 and column 3, column 3, and we can provide 2 and 3. Now try to print the same columns here. How we can able to print? S out, we can make it as a printf percentage minus 12s, comma call 1. Similar way, we need to provide the remaining 2 columns, call 2 and call 3. After providing the 3 column, we need to apply the new line character. The new line either you can use println or you can, if you are using printf, you need to use new line character, we need to write it. Okay, now again see, we are provided the column name and as well as we are fetching the records. Again, if we can run this particular program, so we can see the output. So now fine. along with our records, it was fetching the column name also. Okay, fine. Currently, by using our object model, by using this particular appropriate object model, we are fetching the record from our database table and using the statement interface. So now we can try to insert the records into the table, because we can do any operations, DDL, DML, any operations we can able to perform. So now we would like to go with we'll try to write one more method, provide static void insert records. We'll try to insert records into the database table. So we can call this particular method, we'll comment the existing method, and we can call this particular method insert records. So again, in here also, every body of the method should contain try catch block, e.print stack trace. Now we should write a finally block. Again, finally is which one? Optional block. Irrespective of exception arised or not, this block executes always. So as per our object model, again, which is the first step? Connection. We need to specify the connection object. Connection con is equal to null. It is a reference variable we need to specify. And next one, it is a good practice, we need to clean up immediately. It is a good practice, we can make it. Okay, next one, second step, step 2, we should load the Oracle driver. How to load? Class.forName. ForName is an static method. So Oracle dot JDBC dot driver dot Oracle driver. So what is the purpose? The actual in core Java class.forName were usually used for running or executing the static block which is available in our class. The static block can be executed based on the object creation or the execution of any static variable or static method. Before executing itself, first it will execute the static block. If I would like to run a static block independently, then you can go with this particular approach. So the Oracle driver, we are loading this particular Oracle driver. The next step, so we should use driver manager.get connection. Driver manager dot get connection. So we should use 3 parameters: JDBC colon Oracle colon thin @localhost, and we need to specify the port number, and X is the database, and username is system, and password is the tiger. You can provide, while installing the database, you can provide any password you can able to provide. And this get connection method always returns an connection object. So once after returning the connection object, just we'll make sure now the database connection has established successfully. The database connection has established successfully. I'm sorry, I written a wrong spelling. So now we can run this particular setup now, because we need to make sure whether it will be establishing the connection successfully for the second method or not. Yes, it was working fine. So now we need to perform the operation. What are the operations we need to perform? The next step is you need to create a statement. By using connection object, we need to create a statement by using connection object and by using create statement method. Con dot create statement. So it always returns a statement object. So we need to provide statement stmt is equal to statement object. Once after creating the statement object, we need to define the query. But this query is an insert query. So we can write the query now. String query is equal to insert into, what is the table name? DPT values. We can just provide 50 comma health comma. So which one means we can provide a nice city name. Okay. So we can just provide one city name. So yes, we have provided the values now. Insert into table. Okay, because SQL is a non-case sensitive. Either you can write it in lowercase or uppercase. Okay, department values, the department number, department name, and the location, city name. So once after providing the query, now we should execute the query now. Which is the query we need to execute? Execute update. So execute update. It always returns a integer value. So which is the one? Query. So you no need to return any value. So either you can fetch the return value if and afterwards you can apply the condition also. So we are not returning any value. So now we can execute and make sure whether it was inserted this particular record properly or not. So first we can run this particular query now. Particular program. What is the method? Insert records. First we'll run the insert records method. And if it gets any error, we'll try to fix it. Yes, the execution becomes successful. Now go to the database. So dbehavior and run it. See, it was inserted a new record. Which one? 50 health Sindhanur. So it indicates what? Yes, it was working fine. We can say now what we can able to, what we have achieved here means, so by using read records method, we are fetching the record from the database table, and by using which one means insert records, we can insert records into the table. Any DDL and DML, any database operations we can able to perform. Now I would like to execute read records method. So now we should get the new records also, it should display in the console. Yes, the new records also available in the console. So now we can perform the same operation, fetching the records from the existing table and insert or update any operation we can able to achieve for the table. How we can able to do? Not only for statement, by using one more approach called prepared statement. So again, I would like to create a new class, that is read records from database table using prepared statement. I just provided the meaningful class name only. So once after providing the class name, we should provide we need to create the main method, and again we need to write a method read records. Already we have achieved reading the record from the table by using statement object. Now we would like to achieve the same thing by using prepared statement. Every method body should contain try catch block. E.print stack trace. Now we need to specify the finally block. It is optional block. Okay, and here we need to do cleanup activities. So again, with respect to our object model, which is the first one, we need to specify the connection class. connection con is equal to null, because the reference variable always contains, by default it contains null value. So con dot close, we are closing the DB connection. So the next step, second step, we need to load the Oracle driver. How we can able to load the Oracle driver? By using class.forName. So we need to write oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver. So Oracle driver jdbc.driver.oracle driver. Yes. So now next step we should use driver manager.get connection. It is accepting three parameters. Driver manager get connection. It accepting three parameter called connection URL, username and password. The connection URL is JDBC colon Oracle colon thin @localhost, and port number we need to provide, and database name we need to provide, and username is system, and password is tiger. And this combination, driver manager dot a static method called get connection, it always returns a connection object. Once after establishing the connection object, first we need to make sure connection has established properly or not. The database connection has successfully. And first we would like to run this particular program to make sure whether it works properly. Yes, it is working properly now. Now we can continue with the upcoming steps. So which is our upcoming steps means the next one, we need to create a statement object. But currently here we should not use statement. Instead of statement we should use prepared statement. So for that purpose, first we need to define the query here. String query is equal to, reason is in this way, prepared statement method is accepting query as a parameter. Select star from DEPT. So now by using connection object, we should access a method called prepare statement. See, the prepare statement method is accepting query as a parameter and it returns prepared statement. The prepared statement is an interface. So query it returns prepared statement. Prepared statement STMT is equal to. So again we are imported prepared statement from java.sql. So once after we are creating the statement object, by using statement object, what we can able to achieve? We can execute the query. Yes, by using stmt dot execute query. Execute query. But here execute query, we no need to pass query as a parameter because we are already given the query for the which one? Prepare statement method. That's the reason we need to use this particular method, execute query without parameter. It returns result set. It returns result set rs is equal to. So once we can get the result set, yes, we can write a while loop rs dot next, because the next method it returns a boolean value. If the records are available, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. Okay, now we can read the one by one record data. How we can able to read rs dot getString. The getString method is accepting column label. and it returns string value. In our case, column label is department number. So we can go to database and we can check now. This is the department number, DNAME and location. And it returns string department number. And next one called rs.getString. You need to use DNAME column, second column. The second column name is DNAME, department name. So it provides string DEPT name is equal to. And next one, rs.getString LOC. It returns string location is equal to. Now we can try to print the record from the database table. We can print the records. How we can able to print? And either you can use println statement or you can use printf. Printf for which purpose? It was formatting the output. I'm sorry, we should not use multiple minus comma department number. And the same statement we need to copy paste for 3 times. So one for which one? Department name, and another for location. So now we need to write the new line. Printf, we can apply the new line character. So once after writing all the statement, we will try to run our example now. Yes, we can execute our program. So it is provided all the records. The record which has inserted for our previous execution also it was provided. But again same thing, it has not provided the column name. So by using prepared statement also we can't able to get the column name. Column name we can able to get from which one? The only for result set object only we can able to get the column name. So either you can use statement or prepared statement. Ultimately based on the result set object only we can able to get the column name. So by using rs.getMetadata, this get metadata is always this particular method. Get metadata returns result set metadata. It returns result set metadata. Now we can able to store the respective value result set metadata. This also from java.sql. Now the reference variable is rs data. Now by using rs data we can able to read the column name. Rs data dot get column name. So we can provide one means the first column name it is going to return string column name 1. We can, because we know that there are 3 columns are available in our table, so that's the reason we can provide the corresponding column name. Now we need to print the output also. Each column name we should print it. So again we can make it as a printf in order to format the data. Call 1. Similar way we need to provide the remaining column name. Call 2 and call 3. So after printing the 3 column name, we should apply the new line. Again, if we can run the same program one more time, so we can see the result along with the column name where we are getting it was fetching the records. The current program is fetching the records, not only for records, even column name also it is fetching. So this one we have achieved by using prepared statement. So next one means we can write one more method to insert records into the table. Okay, we can copy this particular method and the previous method will comment the previous method, and we can use the current method insert records. And here also the method should contain try catch block, print stack trace. Now we should write the finally block. It is the optional block. So the main purpose to clean up. So which is the first step? Connection com is equal to null. For the same reference variable, we should close it. Close. Okay. The next step, we should perform the step 2. Class dot for name. The step 2 we need to perform. Always follow the object model. If you are understanding the object model easily, we can able to write the program. Oracle dot JDBC dot driver dot Oracle driver. So the next step we need to use a class called driver manager. The driver manager dot get connection. So it accepting 3 parameters: the connection string and a string called username password. In our case, the connection string is JDBC colon Oracle colon thin colon @ localhost colon port number 1521. It is a standard Oracle port number. The username is system and password is tiger. This driver manager dot get connection is a static method. It returns a connection object. So once after getting the connection object, we will print the statement and will make sure whether the connection is established properly. Successfully. And just we can run this particular method alone. Insert records, and we'll cross check whether this particular method is executing fine. So now we have commented read records and only it was running insert records method. Yes, we can run this particular one. Yes, database connection established successfully. Now once after creating the connection object, we need to create a statement. But here in this case, we need to execute a prepare statement. For the prepare statement, it requires a query. So that's the reason first we need to establish the query now. The query can be a simple or complex. In our case, we need to write a query insert into DEPT values. Now currently the record is 60. 60 comma department name we need to provide. The department name is which one means insurance or anything insurance, and the city name we can able to write Raichur. So once after providing the query, so you can use any city name or anything. Just for example purpose I'm using. Once after specifying the query, we need to, by using connection object, we can access a method called prepare statement. This prepare statement accepting query as a parameter, and it returns a prepared statement interface. It accepting query as a parameter and it returns prepared statement. The prepared statement is an interface. By using statement object, we can run the query now. Okay, what is the query means? Execute update. We can run the execute update. So the execute update is returning the integer value. If you want, you can able to store the return value. Otherwise, you can just execute update. You can just call the method. So now we will run this particular program and we'll check now whether it is executing properly or not. Yes, it is not providing any output. Now we can go to our DB ever, then run this particular query. So now it was providing one more record, 60 insurance, the city name called Raichur. So now we'll do one thing. We'll comment this insert records and we'll uncomment the read records method, and again we can run now. So it should provide, including the latest inserted record also it should provide. Yes, it is providing the latest inserted record also it is displaying. So by using, the conclusion is in this way, by using statement and prepared statement, we can perform CRUD operations into database table. Thank you.